And joining me right now to talk more about all of this is Kansas Senator Roger Marshall. Senator, thanks very much for being here this morning. We saw you in that clip a moment ago when you joined us here on Mornings with Maria. You're a physician yourself. Now we learn that President Biden has been diagnosed with aggressive prostate cancer. We have the doctor's letter of February 24 last year. There was no mention of any prostate cancer. Is it possible that they missed it, or are we just watching another cover-up here?
Well, Maria, certainly all things are possible right now. But what we do know is that typically this type of cancer takes at least 2 years to spread to the bones. At least 2 years, typically 5 years. It's inconceivable to me that they weren't doing PSA tests. If they were doing them, show them to us. If they weren't, then show us that as well. All they have to do to dispel this rumor is show us the data, show us the president's records. But the big issue here to me is what about 6 months from now, when let's just assume that Joe Biden will be completely mentally incapacitated in 6 months. Now they're going to go back and say, oh, these are metastases from the prostate cancer that caused this, not the Alzheimer's that we've been seeing, or the Parkinson's, whichever it is, if not both of them, that's been affecting his mental capacity now for several years. And they'll continue to lie. The legacy media is complicit in all this. The White House, his White House surrounding him, is complicit in this. Look, they've lied to us about Russia. They lied to us about the Hunter Biden laptop. They lied to us about all things COVID, and now they're one more cover-up. Joe Biden's been out of office now for not even 6 months, a year, and there's one more cover-up here. The great cover-up is upon us. So coincidental. Right after the testimony comes out, that recording, which was way worse than I would have thought it would have been, Joe Biden had tangential thought processes going on there, a classic sign of Alzheimer's disease, as we know it. He couldn't complete sentences. Really, he didn't have any memory recollection beyond 2015 if you listen to that tape.
Yeah, I mean, look, and I just want to point out that this is not politics. We all wish Joe Biden well. We're all praying for his recovery. But these are national security issues. The fact that they would hide such important information from the American people, what does that say about how much they care about America and American citizens, and about our adversaries undermining us at every turn?
Yeah, is there any doubt why Putin was not afraid to invade Ukraine? Is there any doubt why President Xi in China was going to walk all over us on trade agreements? All this points to we had a very weak leader. And again, who was running the country? And you've said this on your show so many times. Who was running the country? Who was signing those executive orders? Who was signing the bills into law? On all the people that he pardoned, did you really know the story of who they were pardoning? But it was not the person that America elected.
Well, that's why we're going to speak with Ed Martin coming up in a few minutes, because he's questioning the legitimacy of some of these pardons that President Biden put into place. But let me get your take on what's going on today and the business of today, because you and your colleagues have been working hard to try to get President Trump's agenda through the finish line. Now, the president's coming to Capitol Hill this morning. He wants to persuade the GOP to unify around this big, beautiful bill. The House's self-imposed deadline is Memorial Day, so we're expecting some action on Thursday of this week before everybody leaves for the holiday. Mike Johnson, the speaker, met with SALT caucus members late last night looking to resolve disagreements within the party. I spoke with Georgia Congressman Richard McCormick earlier about the SALT cap, and I know that in the Senate, Senator, there aren't many people in the GOP Senate who really care about the SALT deduction being lifted. But what can you tell us are the big issues in terms of the big, beautiful bill? And do you have confidence that you can actually get this done by July?
So I do have confidence. I have all the confidence in the world in Speaker Johnson, all the confidence in the world in Leader Thune. If this was a ball game, we'd be in the third inning. The starting pitchers have both been knocked out. We're into our middle relief, but we have the greatest closer of all time in Donald Trump. I mean, I think about Mario Rivera and his cutter fastball. That's what President Trump has. So I'm very confident. The big difference, I think, is this: the Republican Senate is more conservative than the House Republican caucus right now. We don't don't have senators from a SALT state. Look, they're probably trying to cut about $1.5 trillion. We think we need to cut at least a minimum of $2 trillion. That's probably the biggest difference between the two bills. This SALT is a great example. We don't have a senator from a SALT state. What they're talking about doing is going to cost American taxpayers $1 trillion over the next 10 years. So people from Kansas look like we're supplementing folks from California, from Illinois, from New York on this SALT deduction tax to the tune of $1 trillion. We don't think that that's fair. So they'll get something across the finish line. Give it to us. We'll make it better. We'll work with President Trump and get him as one big, beautiful bill.
All right, so you think that you will get it delivered. Do you think you're going to have an issue with raising the debt ceiling by $5 trillion? I got to tell you, Senator, I think slowly but surely markets are starting to notice and react to the debt and deficits issue.
Yeah. We don't have any choice. We have to get this bill across the finish line, and we're going to see the largest tax increase in American history, a $4 trillion tax increase.
Yeah.
We have to get it across the finish line. President Trump says we need to take care of this ceiling, of this debt ceiling as well, to your point. If we don't, then the Democrats will weaponize it against us. So we have to take care of it now, and that's going to allow us to work towards a balanced budget as we go forward. We need to get last year behind us, focus on the future, and start working towards a balanced budget.
All right, Senator, we'll be watching your work. Great to catch up with you, sir. Thank you.